Hi, it's me. Crazies are still around me, following me to work, yelling stuff, following me around. Um, I had went down to Save a Lot, and on Whipple, probably about 2:15 to about 2:30 to 40. Somebody gets out of their car. Will knew what happened to her. For a long time, he wanted her to realize who did it to her. Well, that's pretty shitty. Because leaving me in high danger, wouldn't you just come get me out? Hide me, take the chip out that's illegally implanted. And say, Karen, it was this person, and this person, and you didn't realize. Because that would be logical. I go and Save a Lot. Now they tape an audio in there. Well, I know they said they taped her before. It don't matter. No, it don't. You know why? 8/8 of 21, 8:15 at night. Did you know he fentanyled her and told her to say it? 8:15 to 8:30 at night. You can hear him in the distance. My car's bugged. I have the neurochip. Everything I think and see goes into cell phones and into the case. The whole nation heard. They sold the login. Okay? Everybody knows. Okay? May 25th, Louisville, Wendy's. The church people weren't funny breaking in before, drugging her, telling her to say she's a weirdo molester. That's not funny. Or they were running around all last winter. It's funny. She doesn't know it's so funny. No. But it makes more sense why it's thrown up all the time. Or if ain't somebody's not funny. Or fentanyl. I had Duragiza patches from where I was sick, and I found them loose in a box, and I got rid of them responsibly at Walgreens, and he yelled at me for them. I was afraid with him trying to kill me. He'd give them to that killer. He's trying to kill Dixie and the baby, and they have a list of people. I wasn't giving them ammunition. Okay? 8/9, the car and the chip picked it up at the apartment building 4 mine second close to the fence. Little kids come running out with her mom. So funny, she finally figured it out. It was Dave that drugged her and told her to say it before. It's so funny. Okay? I would have never figured it out unless people sat there and made hints. It's sick they gave her an amnesia drug and told her to say gay sick stuff. I don't care if you're gay, but I'm not. They told you to say the mean game of pretend. That's stupid. It's a mean game of pretend. Of course it never happened. Of course it wasn't true. We made it up. Flora Radama, October 23rd, 2019. Yeah. I went up and sat outside the FBI building the other day in Akron. I know they can hear me. Cars started pulling out and driving around, playing my tapes. Okay. I gotta go home. There's a gas station. I had to pull over to use the restroom. A lady had her hood up. Okay. She's on the phone with someone and said, look, we got them telling Flora. A long time ago they were lying. That was 18. They came up and told me 19. They caught them all lying. This fucking shit my family should be ashamed of. Mean jokes. Okay? The lady at 1295 Fairlawn, middle apartment, right before May 25th. Screamed at him for it. It's not funny the church people broke in before, drugged her and told her to say she's a weirdo molester. That's not funny. She screamed for the neighborhood to hear. She's talked to several people. She knows I'm innocent. Okay. Well, my old client Jeff heard them and Wendy's and a bunch of people in town, they were calling them bastards. He told Jim and Brian, my other neighbors, he heard it and it was too dark for him. I don't work for him anymore. He tried to let me back, but they make fun of me for being roofied, basically. Okay, because when I talk to Dave, he defends me, and you're good to everyone. Karen, she's childish. Okay? Then I taped Daniel and Tyler, Crystal and Flora, Josh E. The police were pulling around when Gabe bragged on me, and even Danny said nice things. Yeah. And toxic water. We're going to do this one more time. Unless the United States is planning on shutting down every beach, every pool, every swimsuit, every gymnastic meet, every baseball player, every basketball player, and every football team, okay? You have like 3 to 5 minutes to adjust yourself. It doesn't matter where you touch. So, like the guy said at 3 o'clock on Sunday, I seen that tape from before, and the only thing she did is wipe off water with clothes on. And he said, I realized that too, and she was never like that before, and I told these people stop saying stuff to her, okay? All I did was I wiped some water off with clothes on, and they act like they want money out of that. I told a prosecutor, one of the prosecutors, he started laughing. I said, they don't get money out of that. He's like, no, they don't. And I don't get trouble. I was in McDonald's. Some guy was salting his food, got all over his pants, stood up, wiped off in between his legs, his private area, his butt, and wiped off the chair and sat down. Well, these guys are out harassing me. They're driving by. A motorcycle guy pulls in, just his whole front area, pulls out a wedgie, and readjusts his front area and walked in. He had a serious wedgie going on. I'll tell you what, it was a little weird, but it's not wrong. There was a construction guy, they were putting new pavement in. Hiked up his butt, started scratching his butt, and then adjusted his front area. It was funny, but unless he dropped his drawers on purpose, it's not wrong. Brian said he had a friend that was sitting on the sand on a beach. It got in her bathing suit crotch. He said she stood up and she started like shaking it, pulled it out of her crotch and started shaking out because it hurt. Unless she purposely showed her private area, she's fine. And then, yeah, my other neighbor had stretch pants on, stuck to a chair, stood up, pulled her underwear out of her butt, her crotch, her back area, smoothed off in between her legs and everything. It's not wrong, and not everything is sexual. It's a part of your body. And if something's running down it, some cars drove by, you know why you wiped off the water? You're human. They have been so dehumanizing me. And the ridiculousness of this, it's so absurd. It's stupid. They have lost their minds realizing they have nothing. And they're just trying to make something out of nothing. Jen, my other daughter-in-law, was sitting. Now, everybody's housebound, and I have the neural chip. She had like tan shorts on. She had her legs all spread apart and popped up, and she reached down and grabbed her underwear or her pad real quick and fixed it. It's still not wrong with clothes on. It's not. It's not. The whole United States got to see it. It's a little awkward, but it's not wrong. I was working at my other client's girlfriend's with him. A caretaker reached down and was adjusting her underwear in between her legs and everything. She's like, I'm sorry, I got these fake long nails on. She's like, with these long nails, she had the fake ones on. She said, I accidentally scratched my private area earlier and it hurts. She was fixing herself. It's like, you're fine. Until you drop your drawers on purpose or you hold yourself 3 to 5 minutes, you have to explain that you weren't fixed, that you didn't have surgery, you're not passing a kidney stone, you don't have a UTI, you don't have a catheter. I mean, you're human. You have to fix something that's running. It's not wrong with clothes on. My daughter-in-law was so scared over the gunshot night, my ex looking at her and saying, there was gunfire up here. She's like, gunfire? I lived in a giant woods, not even street lights. Can't see past the porches. Can't see the house from the road. She's like, gunfire? They went to the wrong house. She's like, wrong house? She's nothing but target practice. Look me dead in the eye. We both gasped. He got right to the point. Dead in the eye. Okay? I had goosebumps. I couldn't tell her what I heard outside. I taped her admitting it. Dave's big mistake and a big one. He met up outside the house. It's an FBI and state investigation. They caught him. For he went to the wrong house. We know. She's nothing but target practice. She's up to something. We've seen her through a monitor. He said that figures. Next time we'll come up and kill her. And we'll take care of it. Once and for all. We shot a man that was sleeping where it took us several minutes to find him. Where we finished him off in the back room. We shot a man in the head that was running. We're going to say it was a neighbor. They have all that on tape. Yeah. They said none of this is funny. They're dead. And the undercover police in the courthouse worked the case, and they knew it. And those judges knew it. First, I thought Dave was dating an agent's daughter, the way we were talking about Michelle. Auntie Shell, the house wasn't meant for Grandma. It was meant for Auntie Shell and Papa, and Grandma needs to get out. The one they were lying for and giggling on. The one they fentanyl me before. Oh, they try to lie to people. We had a court order to tape her unaware in her house. You don't get a court order to be a pervert. There was no probable cause. And just because Dave fucks Judgy Pete's daughter, that's who they're saying now it is. Those judges in the courthouse are wrapped up tight in this. You need to rip that courthouse apart. They're too organized. The mayor's office said they have problems with the Portage County Sheriff's even arresting violent offenders up there. Why wouldn't you arrest violent offenders? Someone telling them not to? Are they part of it? Good questions, huh? You need to rip it apart. For if it was anybody else, they'd be in jail on crimes they didn't commit. See, they almost got away with it till they started bragging. Yeah. I even went through all bases. Because if there's people who are going to lie, I went through all bases with Dave just to cover him. We were on the phone 6 years ago when I watched him, right? Yeah. They had such a good day. We went here, we went there. I know. They left happy. I know. Why? Because we were video chatting. And each and every time they were fine. Anytime I seen them, including Melissa. Calls her childish and pretty rotten if she says anything about you, Karen. You're good to everyone. Don't worry about it. Okay, I talked to him twice. Then I talked to Joshy. I was never ever really mean to you or anything else. Yeah. No, I never said you did. Twins. I've always been good to you. Nothing bad. That's the truth. And Gigi's going, He's my baby doll. And then Flora and Crystal looked at me like I was fucking stupid. I've always been good to you. Yeah. I almost died to save them. If they would actually realize that and realize what kind of monster their grandfather is, with putting a hit on Dixie and the baby's life, and then that's why their vehicles are tampered with. They sold me for money. They sold me for fucking money for stalkers to show up and shoot us. And I faced that great horror because he told me to kill everything I ever loved in life. Realize, Karen, I'll kill it. And it's like over my dead body. Okay? These people aren't getting a damn buck. Not a damn fucking buck. I used to not even swear till the gunshot night. Hadn't swore in years. Got in a big fight the next morning. Ran from him out of the male nurse's house. Ow. Damn it. Neurochip needs to come out. God, heaven, that hurts. 12/21/18. Real case. Real tapes. Put in the neck. Out for 6 hours. Dent in my skull. Hair straight up. Okay? Dave gets home accusing me of having an affair. I got marks on me. I got a dent in my skull. My hair is straight up. I have no idea what happened. Out for 6 hours. Migraines for 8 months. The side of my head was going to explode. The wires are into the side of my brain. There's a crack here, and you can see the cut. Louisville police, it comes up government chip on police scanners. They showed up at, the agents showed up at Walmart by the TVs. We implanted a neural chip. We could outrage. I thought you're fucking lying. Took 2 years for my hair to grow back this long in the top because they cut it all off. Yeah. Yeah, there's places I was bald. I didn't know what happened. I just had this big dent where they surgically glued it back down. You talk about illegal U.S. Supreme Court, 11th Circuit, 2005, 18-10134. Remote neural monitoring, electronic brain links. Our U.S. government recognizes illegal synthetic telepathic war weapons as a legal strategy used by other governments for the truth. Okay? Mind controlling chips to silence whistleblowers. Used by perpetrators as heinous crimes of assault. It's even considered torture. Cost the last one's 20 years in jail. RICO charges. Justice for victims. Oh, it's against all basic human rights and all human dignity. They put the 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th over it. They can't even enter it. September 23rd, right before 1 o'clock. At Sheets on Whipple by Shine, and on Bolton, I think it's Bolton that it's on the corner. There's a Sheets on Whipple right in front of Acme Clinic. They tape out there. They're looking at their cell phones. We realize they're just trying to kill her with that illegal war weapon. That's what's going on. I went in Sheets, a guy with a black suit, white shirt, and a black tie. We'll better be taking care of this today. Yells it out inside Sheets. Okay? I go on to Shine. I get my hair done. It's 8:18. Okay? 8:18, I get my hair done. 2 women show up. They were there the other day when I got my hair done. Yesterday, they were there again. I can hear them. We can see what they said. They actually said it. You want to hear it? And by when I go to leave, 8:18, 4:42 p.m., an agent was seen raping her with a stalker. She can have anything she wants. Was raped and tortured between July and September 19. Agent stalker, old fat white man, because I tried to get that Asian lady help. Said her husband died that night. Guy in town said he's crippled. They said the other man's actually dead, and there's a worse part that I don't know about. There was a group of men staying on the other side of the duplex. They never came back. Never. And in a foot of snow within a few weeks. Always said as big as the lifted truck and as high as the first-story building. I looked at an ambulance. It was big as an ambulance. Big as an ambulance out with a pitchfork. We seen this giant fire. I was in the truck a few weeks later with him. We drove by. There's a single man with a pitchfork burning everything. Dave looked at me a few days later sitting on the couch. Karen, you don't realize. You die at my choosing. I just looked at him and walked off. Then that bastard would cry and tell me he loved me. When you look at somebody like that? Fear, hate, disbelief. Yeah. Had someone try to shoot me in my head driving, all those stalkers chased inside Walmart, one's threatening me in restaurants, and I left off the other, 1, 2, 3, 4 of them I forgot about in Walmart. There was a white-haired guy before November of 19, a long white-haired guy, plaid coat, leaned over in the main aisle by the food court counter. He's talking into an earbud. He's like, "They're still around her. I can't get near her. Tell him to go ahead and sign for that settlement." He hadn't signed. He was in contempt. Okay? Yeah, we're at my divorce agreement. And then there was a African-American girl. She didn't even see me. She was in an aisle. She had one of those people with the earbuds or the microphones in their jacket. I told you, it's like a fucking circus down there. I can't get near her to stab her. They're still around her. Okay? She never seen me. And then there was an African-American girl, before I called Will, was at the gas station. I felt water on my face. Okay? I look over, she's spit in my face. And walked off. Her and her white boyfriend were harassing me. Okay? And the guys took care of them. And then they chased off the 6 stalkers. There's she almost got shot in the head driving going down to John's. Had a slam, tuck, and swerve. It's documented. The gunshot night, documented. Dave caught with him, documented. So you in jail know he's living in a $200,000 house and making $115,000. And they bullied me on my jewelry in Wendy's before 12/9 of 18. Give your jewelry back. I said, give it all back. I could have gave him 1 ring back to cover the cost. But there was a hit on BB's life. She's a brand new baby, and I'm holding her. And there's men standing at the pop station, and there's agents sitting around me, and they didn't stop them. I said, give it back. I went home, and I told Dave I didn't want it anymore. I thought they'd stop. They never stop till you're dead. This free-for-all on me for that bloody judge's daughter, Michelle, and there's a Lauren involved and a big boob girl and mean parents. We'll steal everything you have in life, and my parents will move in the basement. So like, shut the fuck up. I'm too busy for whores. And a black-haired girl with dark eyes, real pretty. I'll sleep with Dave, so you know, and there was nothing but fucking whores trying to steal my life. And they're stupid, degenerate parents. And there's a murder spree going on. They said a man named Cameron died around me. And that guy said he's crippled. And that Asian lady said she lost her husband. Some other guy showed up and said that his son died during the case. Now, they need to rip this case apart. And you need to find out who really died and who didn't. Because I know I was surrounded. And the only difference in this case is where they said they killed people and they got them on tape and audio. The men around me, besides mentioning Cameron dying, they said they got shot at running. Okay? For as they broke through the doors, they scattered. One ran by the house to grab me. As they ran by the house to grab me, they realized they went to the wrong house and they surrounded mine. They chased him through the backwoods, shooting at him till he made it to the neighbor's house where they called the police. And there's sirens in the distance. The other man said he was witness Dave with the men and the guy who described in the men with the guns. He's hiding behind the fence. And 2 other men said they seen him too. Okay? They sold a log and the whole nation knows. Okay? You want to talk about a disgrace? Is he in jail for one thing? He beat me with internal injuries. I didn't retaliate. Instead, they just made fun of me for it. He admits it on my phone, emergency reports, scopes. So men can beat their wives now, right? And they don't retaliate because they won't answer the phone because they don't want to die. So, yeah, go ahead and beat her. Oh, my God, she wipes some water off with clothes on. Dave fentanyl her and told her to say something stupid and then defends her. Oh, I even went to as far as, hey, Dave, I break down John. I told him how proud I was of him again. And he's like, you did that yesterday. I always did. Then they even said Janet say something. Then they said Laura say something. We'll get the twins to say something. We'll get his son to say something. We'll get the middle kid. We'll find somebody. It's like, shut up. Right between the eyes. It's like constant harassment. I heard that take from before is sick. Where that Dave fentanyl me and told me to say something stupid, it's sick. And I'll tell you what, they told the nurse at Mercy Medical, no man was ever to touch her. Okay? No man was ever to touch her. Nurse comes in laughing. The only thing they got you on is adjusting yourself. And she's laughing. The guy's standing there and they said, that's sick. No, it's funny. She just adjusted herself. Because that's what is considered. I was in Rite Aid in Louisville. April 10th, May 4th. I may have been in there 1 other 2 times, but more likely it's one of those 2 dates. They probably still have the tape. Lady walks up to me with a cell phone. She looks at it, looks at me, and said, "You didn't expose yourself, you're good." You're allowed to wipe off water running anymore. That's all they got. Nothing. Everything else is drugs, for all their evidence was illegally obtained and cannot be used. They don't use sodium pentothal, retards. False confession, sodium pentothal. Falsely, questioner gets what it wants, right or wrong. Falsely confessed to luring children. Falsely confessed to crimes too. Falsely confessed to Pearl Harbor. False memories implanted. Illegal sodium pentothal. Try Google. Invest. FDA prohibits any use in humans and not to be brought in the United States. Yeah. Lethal sodium pentothal is used for lethal injections for humans, animals, and then it's used in anthrax. They're not going to give you a lethal, and they even put spy flick movie stuff. They don't give you a lethal injection to make you say yes to everything. And they already knew that the church people broke in before drug me, and they knew everything. So I don't want to hear what they called fucking shit. My family should be ashamed of. Karen's a good woman. Yeah, they even yelled at people in Walmart. She's one of the best. Karen's one of the best women you'd ever meet, and don't you ever insult her. They yelled out, "It's ridiculous for any child to be afraid of Karen. She's nothing but good in love." Aspen Dental, they won't kill an innocent woman. FedEx, around October 20, they'll probably still have it. For we all know this woman's innocent. We all know. They had a question of me. I'm a human being. In the law states you have to ask me in person. I have the fifth. You have to read me Miranda rights. No officer, no agent. No Steve, no Eric, no Kurt, no Chris, no Mark, no Christine. No Mama's attorney friend, no Henry. I told you about that weird guy they were talking about, and I don't even know if it's him. Talking about some weird guy named Terrence. Some African-American guy. You can watch him at Walmart's tapes. Jumps out of the aisle. "You know my name, you know my name. You don't quit praying about everything. I'll make you stand somewhere for 8 hours so you can't pray." Well, he'd pray too. I seen another, it could have been him, but he had his head down. I was at Gastrology Associate on Fulton Road. I picked up my records to show the inflammation of what Dave did, okay? So there's an African-American agent, or guys like this, okay? Got his face down. There's a white guy that's been claiming he's an agent, walking around me, I won't talk to him. Besides, "Thank you for getting the door," stuff like that. You know what I mean? Excuse me. I ignore him, okay? He looked at him and said, "After what you did to her, you will make it up to her." He looked over at me and said, "Honey, let me get the door for you." Okay? That same guy was in Meldon with a lady at Taco Bell. Looked over at me and said, "I don't know how to make it up to her." What do you do besides being an ass? I mean, seriously. I never talked to him. I never talked to any of these people. No lady, no man, no nothing. Talked to Will once on the phone, told him I was scared, told the hotline I was scared. They had Will call me back 2 days later. I went fetal for 2 days. Fetal. Third day I got up, I mowed the lawn. Called Sarah because they were leaving, Katie was leaving threats in the mall. They had a permanent plan to do away with me and teach me a lesson I never forget, the drugs and tell me say something stupid and lies. That's what that was. So I said, if I call someone, will you testify? So she's getting married. I took a card and got her a card, a little small gift card, and put Will's number in there. So Dave wouldn't know I was dropping it off. And I didn't call Will back. They shoved it in her locker because she had already left to get married in her honeymoon. And we went to church, and there's a black-haired guy, spitting image of Judge Timothy. Black hair, dark eyes, black glasses, Ford-ish, maybe about 5'9". I can't tell. He's sitting down, okay? And Pamer gets in Dave's face. Apostolic Church of Barberton, minister. My God, I had an FBI agent in my office. And I walk off, and he's giving me a dirty look. He's sitting in the sanctuary. I don't know who he was. Never talked to him either. He's yelling at Dave, and I leave him. Okay? I didn't call Will back. Well, I called Will back the next morning, get enough courage to do it. I'm crying like a baby girl. I mean, I had Dave to hold me down. I love you, Karen, but I love her more. I'm so sorry, Karen. You have to die for it. I hired a man to slit your throat, stab you in the heart, Karen. You'll bleed out. 30 minutes, the bastard held me down. You'll bleed out, Karen, but if you try to run for it, I got a man to put a bullet in you. He won't lie, and he's a bastard. But he wasn't lying, okay? And then that fucked up Terry on the phone. You want to come down to prayer? I felt tight. And I said, I think I won't go. I'll step in for prayer for you. And I bought her tires, had Dave fix her brakes, took her food, helped her clean her apartment for free. Bought her totes, organized it. She's like, I watched this lady for kid for $10 an hour. She's going to be here in a second. I'm cleaning up the counter. I got you sitting on it. You could hear, she had me on speaker. Here. She's here. I got to go. And the door's like 5 feet away. Okay? Pumpkin? Yeah. I said, well, I'll see you later. I almost hung up. I thought, what do you do with $5,000 to $6,000 that disappeared from a safe? Pay off a pregnancy, right? You hire a man to kill your wife. So you get everything. Yeah. Guess who I was on the phone with? You're kidding. I almost tricked her into coming down to prayer for those 2 guys to take care of her. They pay people to know where she's at. I could have used the money. I actually told her I'd stop in for a prayer for her, as if I couldn't believe it came out of my own mouth. Well, that's about as bad as Kaylee. She used another minister because she said, Keith, you charge too much money. Well, you know who was in that meeting to hire those 2 men? It was Keith Strange, Bishop, and Ron. They took up $25,000 to have her murdered because Ron wants her dead because she got well the year his kid died. Oh my God. I did get well the year his kid died. It had nothing to do with his death. Not a damn thing. Phil ran a stop sign late for a church baseball game. My whole family was 30 miles away. It's Phil's fault. Somebody hit him. Blew it up. Phil wasn't showable and Tyler got ejected. It was months later I got well. I was already starting to get well before everything went in remission, and then it took me months later to get all the way well. And he's a millionaire. He lost it at the funeral screaming. 8 years later at Blaylock's pulpit, he got up there with a microphone. I hate God for taking the thing I love the most. Not demeaning my other children, but I hate him. Anybody else but a millionaire would have got hauled out and thrown out. They felt bad for him. Why? Because he has money. And they said he helped pay for it because he wants me dead. There were those 6 main big stalkers. The other ones. And then if you want a hired assassin, Wood Forest between 10 of 18 to end of 12 of 18. I do 3 night drops. If you go the night before, I don't think I chickened out. I may have and came back the next day. I don't think it's into January of 19. There's men talking about me. Now the men watch me. We're way off in the distance. I'm part of the 25,000. Strange hired me. I want to see her. I freeze. Okay? He walks up around me. White guy, hazel blue eyes. About 50. With white hair. And I just stare at him. He was in a restaurant with me, with another man. Threatening and talking about how it was funny that the waitress sat me close to them and how they wanted to cut up my face before they killed me. And that David told them that he hurt my shoulder and they had to watch how they grabbed me. I just sat there and ignored them. That one guy drove by the other day. When she thinks about dealing with the stalker, she twists her neck. I do. I got a thing, a kick in my neck of don't feel anything while they're threatening my life or trying to harm me. Don't feel. It's horrible. It's the only way I can deal with them. You gotta keep your head straight or run. Get away. Trying to, this thing with Melissa and Nicholas never happened, and then they told the kids in the second apartment. They were lying too. They testified for me, and then their mom did the right thing. A guy with a badge showed up right after 8/9. A few days later, yes, they did drug her. The lady at 1295 Fairland spoke up for me too. The lady at Huntington Bank, I don't want Melissa getting any money out of this. This is October 5th. That's okay. They knew they made everything up. They just didn't want anybody to help her. October 2nd, Mercy Medical. Lady's telling an officer she's an informant. They're all lying on her. I'll make sure no one says anything to her. So they're either a black and blue mark that I woke up with, and then men coming up in stores. We always knew you're innocent. You tell someone you're arrested, and then telling people they're using sodium pentothal on me. And truth serum. They don't use it because you say yes to everything is lethal and it's outlawed. Hard telling what was in those needles and what were they doing in my bedroom, and did they rape me too? Because I was raped and tortured between July and September 19th. Okay? Because I tried to help that Asian lady. The bloodshed needs to stop. And the chip does come up, government chip. Louisville police were at another building and they looked over at me and said, she's got a government chip. Can't an officer walk by? His phone dinged. He started reading off my information. When they did the CAT scan with dye, it hurt like hell. I've had CAT scans with dye before. They make you feel like you have to pee. That's it. And I was telling the lady at the hospital that. She's like, I bet it did hurt when it hit that chip. The hospital said if they take the chip out and the swelling, your brain will go back to normal. Some idiot went to insult me at Mercy Medical. They're like, look, we all know some ass chipped her. Agency took responsibility 3/13 this year, 21, at 2:53 p.m. that the agency chipped me, and in the back, a damn bastard neuro chipped me. The intern, Alan Atin, has already said he already knew. And they were saying it in front of people, patients, staff, audio, everywhere. They blatantly put their crimes. And they don't think people can stop them. Because there's a Judge Pete, no, probably Judge Timothy knows what's going on, and the police in the courthouse. It's a organized crime scene up there, and they're bringing it down into Starr County. And you know what? I bet they're too organized. They knew those kids lies, and they told them to lie. So you know what some guy said off in the distance? The guys in the courthouse helped him drug her before. Well, someone had to tell him how to fentanyl me. I didn't know if it was them, or if it was the guy he hired. Yeah. None of this is funny. He was trying to kill me at Lenox. We had attempted break in, told the officer they knew what the security system was. The officer's like, you're in your face, they're individually set up. He was in his face. You're part of it. They are individually set up. They're little beepers, you put them on the windows. They would never know where the security system was. They would have trying to pull the plexiglass off, 1938 windows, push it open, slide down to the electric off, and come up and kill me. But I tarred that day and sealed it tight, the plexiglass, and popped it up with a rake, and it just cracked instead of pulling off. And they tripped over the rake and pulled the antenna down, and the dogs are screaming, and they took off. Grace of God. Following reending, I had a bigger SUV, and the guy hit me. Dave told me to go a certain way, and he followed me and hit me doing over 45. The officer said if I wouldn't have had my foot on the brake, he would have rolled me. And he knew he was up to something, he couldn't prove it, and then find out it's Harold Strange's niece's Facebook friend. Yeah, I didn't know there was a 25 grand hit on my life. Uh-huh. The helping Terry with cleaning her apartment. Never walked me out before a van door pulls open. Pulls up, van door goes open. Jeans, white tennis shoes, gray hoodie, black hair. I got her. I'm like, go back in the building. She picks up that walker and takes off. And I throw my box and he goes after me, not her. And I barely got away. He hit the back of my car. She got away. He lunges around me. If you want to pull Walmart mask tape around Memorial Day 18 weekend, maybe a couple days afterwards, we're around that time, we're moving in our new home. We went and got some stuff down at Danny's where we stored it. We went down and got curtains for the basement. John and his kids were there, running towards us inside for a moment in time. Guamo Papa, what you doing here? We're buying curtains for the basement. What are you doing? I forget, and moment in time, we go to leave. There's a white car ahead of me, and we go down the back road because he's got a trailer full of stuff. And a car turns sideways where there's nothing. And I'm like, and he goes to step out, jeans, cowboy boots, black hair. I'm like, Dave, I think I'm getting car attacked. He blocked the road. I'm throwing it in reverse. A white car pulls up. He steps back in and takes off. And I yell at Dave half the way home. Where are you? I would turn down the side road. See, that's Dave random. This taping unaware, they would never give him a court order. That's how stupid it is. Dave tried to have me murdered, and he beat on me with internal injuries. My old attorney, Seth Arco, they wouldn't have gave us a court order to watch him, and he tried to murder me. Come on now. I don't live there anymore. They tell you stay out of it, right? Yeah, there was no probable cause. And just because Dave fucks judgy daughter, doesn't give you a probable cause. Because we want everything. And toxic water, stupid. And that's all they got on me. I adjusted myself. I wiped some water off running. I spilled coffee down the front of my skirt, was wiping it off before. You get out of the shower. I used to be really big. I was 215 pounds, okay? I may be 135, 140 tops now. I was 215 pounds. If I would have had a house coat on or a skirt or whatever, you spill something on the inside or out. Yeah. You're there, and all of a sudden you feel water running. It's not wrong with clothes on to reach down and wipe it off. Dumbasses. I used to not swear. When he's out checking trail cameras after the other guy tried to grab me when I ran from him after the gunshot night, some guy tried to grab me out of the male nurse's house. You could go talk to them. They'll tell you it happened. There's actually a tape. About a week or two ago, they said, it's not funny. We found the gunshot night. None of this is funny. No, it's not. The Asian lady lives in town. She's a widow. I told you where to find her October 5th. Macy's Men's Clown Counter. Yeah. I told these people to stop saying stuff to her. She's trying to get us out. Tried 19. It cost me being tortured. Tortured. I need to stop. Somebody needs to get down here. I may have to redo this. I don't know. I need to stop for a minute. Okay? Oh, it didn't even take. It wasn't even on.
Oh my god.